statistics. How many unintended sexual contacts was it? Who took notes? How many? 400,000? How many think that's enough? Yeah. How many students died? 1,700. One is too many. So, fortunately, Mom was naive in a lot of ways. First of all, if you had a group of friends and you passed around one bottle, you couldn't get your blood alcohols up to that level. Secondly, anything Mom would say is not going to make a difference. Sam was an A student. She was National Honor Society. She was president of her class. She was head cheerleader. She knew the facts. What killed Sam was the cultural norm. The cultural norm among her group. I have headlines from this state that say this: valedictorian dies in alcohol-related car crash. Sam was an officer in the Students Against Drunk Driving organization. It's not the facts that our students need. It's a change in the cultural norm. Now, if any of you are curious about what really happened that last day of her life, send me an email. I'll put my email up in a second. I'll send you the website I created that shows her last day of her life. And one of the saddest parts of her last day of her life, she sent on her personal space website what her intentions were. She told everyone who was her friend, I'm going to get wasted. And she had two reasons that she gave. One, Colorado State was playing Colorado in football, and second, it was Labor Day weekend. Now think about the cultural norm where that would be supported and something you would want to tell all your friends. The cultural norm on this campus has resulted in the same kind of death. So there were friends, and the website I'll send you if you send me an email talks about how bad everyone felt. How many showed up to the memorial service and held their little candles. That's a little bit late. We had a serious, incident where friends of a student tried to help him on this campus. He was a senior, 5th year student teaching in Iowa. The local tavern sponsors a big over-drinking event every year. And he was there, and his friends knew he was too drunk to drive his Jeep. They took his keys from him. That's a good friend who has the courage to take the keys from somebody who's that old, to try to save their life. What they didn't know is he had one of those little magnetic holders stashed under the frame of his Jeep. He died between the bar and Stevens Point in a one-car accident in the middle of the afternoon. It's the cultural norms that we have to work harder at. Okay, I'm going to open up our little presentation here. I'm supposed to talk about the health center. Heck, that's boring. That's boring. Now, first of all, that's the top of Old Main. Traditions are part of what is cultural norms. Now, I'm happy to report that cultural norms can change. When I came here in 1972, this campus was known for one thing. It started with T, it ended with Y, and it had art in the middle. That was the cultural norm. Now, I'd like to prove to you that cultural norms can change. The way I'm going to do that is, I would like everyone in this room who does not smoke to stand up. Just stand up if you don't smoke. Now don't try to lie to us because we can smell. Now look around the room, please. Just everyone look around. I want you to get a flavor for this. Okay, now sit down and quit bragging. The reason I'm trying to show you this is when I went to school, every adult I knew smoked. I'm talking grandmas and grandmas, grandpa and grandmas, and aunts and uncles, and my parents and all their friends. I didn't know any adults who didn't smoke. When I came here in '72, the professors smoked in class, and so did the students. And everyone thought that was normal. That's not normal today. If you're a smoker, we can help you quit, and you need to quit. You want to get a job? They're looking at whether you smoke or not. Why? Because it costs the company a lot more money. They don't really care about you. It's all about the money. How many have heard that old line, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink? Well, I've got bad news for you students. What we've learned here in Stevens Point is if you hold the horse's head underwater, eventually they're going to get some of it. And this campus is going to try to promote wellness for all the students. It's in the mission statement of UWSP to encourage students to explore the 6 dimensions of wellness. They're not interested. They know everything already. They could get an A on the test, just like Samantha Spady did. It's not the test on paper that's important. It's the test of how you live your life. So, that's me when I was younger. How many agree he looks younger there? I'm just checking your powers of observation. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been here 38 years, you know. Things are changing for the better. I'm happy to report that. But we still have a lot of work to do. By the way, that's my home phone number. Anybody can call me. You know, I'm in the book. And if you students are having a problem and you can't seem to figure out where to go, call me up. Now, even though I'm retiring in a couple weeks, you can call me. I don't mind phone calls. I have 6 kids. Your call would be a welcome interruption to the calls I get from my own kids. Like yesterday, my son Adam, Dad, my cell phone stopped working. What happened? Well, it kind of got all wet. So I said, did you take the battery out already? Yeah. Did you put it in a bag of rice? Yeah. You must have really got it wet, Adam. We had an exchange student with us for the last year, and she dropped her cell phone in the river. It was 4 feet deep for 5 minutes. She pulled it out, took out the battery, put it in a bag of rice, and 3 hours later it was working. So my son didn't luck out. That's my email. Parents, if you want to be a member of the Parent Advisory Committee for our health service, send me an email. I'll make sure the staff get it. So if something big is going on, like some kind of epidemic or something, we'll send you a notice, just so you're informed. We can't tell you anything personal about your son or daughter without their written permission. But you can tell us anything you want. It's a one-way deal. But don't be afraid to send me your email this summer, and I'll make sure you get on that list. Okay, enough of that. That's the 6 dimensions of wellness I was talking about. I designed this back in 1976. And ironically, this month, the month of my retirement, the cover of the American College Health Association has my model on it. And a little blurb, which is kind of nice, you know. They didn't know I was retiring, so it was just coincidence. But we're going to encourage your sons and daughters, whether it's in class, out of class, in student activities, they're going to be encouraged to be thinking about taking care of number 1. Because whatever reason they have for being here, it probably would work better if they're well when they graduate. That's our goal. Our goal is to keep them alive till they're 25. Why 25? Well, it turns out that young people have a brain that doesn't fully mature until about that age. Now, how do we know that? Well, we know that because they won't rent them a car until they're 25. And the reason they won't rent them a car is because they've had experience noticing what happens if you rent cars to people under that age. This is not rocket science. We have the data. Data can help. That's where the health center is. Students, it's right behind this building. It's an old residence hall. It was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. You should be saying, no way. All right, he was in preschool at the time, working with blocks. You know.